Happy 7th year, guys, of doing these fucking screencasts. Um, Appreciate everyone who have watched my videos over the years, and I guess continue watching them. Anyways, what was that? Oh yeah, we're gonna answer a viewer question this time, and they wanted to know my daily usage, like what software I use and all that, and also the hardware I have. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll start with the hardware stuff, and I don't have a camera, so I took a picture. I mean, I do have a camera on my phone, but recording on that fucking thing is like vertical kind of view, and I don't like that. Anyways, I took a picture here. In this one, these are my stuff that I have on my computer here. So starting from the side here, this one is actually my old monitor. Well, it's my TV, but I use it as a monitor, and that's what I was using before I got this big thing. And this one is a 32-inch TV by LG here that I got for $100 off of Craigslist. And this one's 1080p. I wanted it 1080p for sure because I was doing screencasts and my videos are like in 1080p and all that. So I wanted to make sure it was 1080p. This one was like 720p and all that. And over here, this one is the iMac that I got for $40 off of Craigslist. And I did say I was gonna do some screencasts for the Mac and all that, but I found out it was slow. And I mean, it could do screencasts, but it was laggy. So that's why I hadn't done any Mac screencasts for people that were interested. I actually had a lot of ideas or like a lot of programs I wanted to talk about. But my goal with that was like to see like how a Linux user would work with a Mac, and I was kind of trying to make it like Linux like. That was like my goal, but it was too slow. So maybe if I ever get like a cheap Mac, I'm not gonna pay more than a few dollars for it. I'm not gonna pay like over $500. Like they want like these old ass computers, but they want like 500 or $300, and I was like, fuck that. So that's why I haven't bought any other things by the Mac. Anyways, that was just for educational purposes. That's why I bought the computer here. Go on to the next thing. What was it? This is my webcam, Logitech C920. What was that? I use it for some of the unboxing videos and so on and so forth that people fucking hate. But this one I bought two of these off of Craigslist for $50, and at the time like one of these only was $70, right? So I actually bought two. I sold the extra one. Well, I bought two for $50, but I sold the extra one for $60, and basically I got a free webcam and $10 out of it, out of the whole deal. That's what I like about Craigslist. I mean, you can always buy like stuff on eBay or like Amazon or Newegg and stuff like that. With a click of a fucking button. But when you buy stuff on or like you physically go and buy stuff or trade or whatever, you have a fucking story to it. Like, oh, I met this fucking asshole and this happened and whatever. And that's why it's a little bit more memorable when you buy the items physically, right? Because something always happens, and that's what I remember when I bought these fucking things. Oh yeah, and the next thing is the snowball mic that I got for $20 off of Craigslist. It was by a musician. He traveled here from New York. It was like a guy, I don't know, maybe in his 20s or something like that. I should have asked him for his his band because he was doing like night gigs and all that. But anyways, got this for $20 off of him, and that was that. What else is next? Oh yeah, down here, this is my Windows computer that I play some Steam games on, like XCOM, Left 4 Dead 2, and so on and so forth. So it's mainly like my Windows machine. Oh, Ubuntu logo. Remember that shit? Rest in peace, Ubuntu. But this is my Linux computer. Basically, my server, my desktop, my everything here, and this one's connected to this big ass TV here, right? That I use. Now, when you have multiple computers, like this Mac, this PC over here, and this Linux machine, right? You probably need 3 keyboards, but no, I have this keyboard, which is a Bluetooth keyboard, and I think I have a picture of that, right? Here's a close up. So this is a Logitech K810, and basically, you can actually switch between them, and that's why I like this one. I got this one. What was that? The $25 off of Craigslist. I think the value at the time was like $50 or $60 or something like that. Anyways, got that $25, and you can actually like when you switch on the other computers, you can just toggle between them with the hit of a button, like F1, F2, F3, and then you can switch between the PC, the Linux, or the Mac, and they're all connected by Bluetooth, so it's quick. The only thing I wish they have was this one's the keyboard, but there's no like mouse version. That's why I have like multiple mouse on the desktop here, because they don't have a hardware like that, but for the mouse. And the reason why I used the keyboard, I bought the keyboard instead of using a program like Synergy, is that Synergy is good if you're just using like the desktop and everything. But once you get into like games on the PC or whatever, I don't know, the mouse, it doesn't work. So that's why I didn't use. I did try to use Synergy at the beginning, but like I said, if you're gonna play some games on it too, it doesn't fucking work. So that's why I got that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the PC setup, really. And here's my Xbox 360 controller that I showed you last time. So that's it for the hardware side. And let's get on to, I guess, the command line. Alright, so the command line, obviously I do screencast, so I'm using, what is this here, FFmpeg from the command line to record. And I like using this over, before I was using, was that the GTK record my desktop. That thing was horrid. I mean, after you do the fucking screencast, you have to wait for it to render, and that can take like an hour depending on how long your fucking shit is. So I remember back then I used to have to wait for it to render, and then now I have to convert it too because YouTube doesn't take that OGV fucking format. So now I use this to record here. And for people that are wondering if I edit my videos, I do no goddamn editing. I just talk shit for 5 or 10 minutes. This video might be longer because we're doing my whole setup and everything. And after that, I just upload it on YouTube and I'm good to go. Anyways, that's my setup for this. Next thing, how do I chat? I usually chat like this. Right, I have over here on my left is the IRC using WeChat, and over here on the right is my what was that? My Finch. I just chat from the command line here. This instant messenger, so I can chat with people on Skype, AIM. If you guys use that shit, I still use it. If it's not dead, then I still use it. I think MSN and stuff they die off. But yeah, I have Facebook, I have Steam on here, and so on and so forth. Next thing, what is that here? These are the torrents, and this is how I set it up. At the bottom here, what was that? This bottom over here. This is just what was it? MPS, YouTube, and basically you watch YouTube videos from the command line. But this one I just put it for trailers only. So I can see like which new movies are coming out and so on and so forth. Up top here, this is the transmission client, right? And that's how I would download my torrents. Basically, this is my torrent client, the command line transmission version. And what else is there? Over here, this is where I have, this one is using FlexGit. FlexGit is kind of like a way to let's say kind of like a DVR kind of system. Like if you had your TV shows or movies you want to watch or you want to get in the future before they even release, and then you add it to a queue list, and whenever that thing comes out, it will automatically download it, right? So on and so forth. So that's for FlexKit, and I can also search from here if I need to find some new torrents, so on and so forth. So that's it for that. Third one here. This one is when I take notes, and I usually use was it VimWiki, and in here in VimWiki, it's real easy to create like a I don't know what you call it, links to different notes. So for example, if I want to look at my notes on our desktop here, this is what I had. And if I want to see it in what was that, live markdown preview, I can open up in a a web browser here, and you see all my notes. It's pretty with all the markdown and everything. So that's how that works, and we'll get to that in a minute. But so that's one I take notes. I actually recommend people to take notes because you ain't gonna remember all these fucking shits that you've done. Especially if it's command line stuff, you have to be like more step by step and everything. And if you learn a lot of command lines, you ain't gonna remember all that shit. So it's gonna be like school where you take notes and then you have to remember it. But unlike school, these programs is something that you want to learn, not something that you have to learn. All right. So that's it for that. Bottom here, this is my file manager that I like. This one is Ranger, and this one is actually my favorite one. I have tried use the other one like VFM and everything, and I thought those features that I was missing in Ranger did not exist, but I figured out that it does exist, and I'll probably talk about it in another video. But anyways, this is Ranger, the file manager from the command line. And that's pretty much it for that. Oh yeah, another thing before I forget, I am using Tmux. So Tmux, you can detach, reattach it, different sessions, and so on and so forth. So Tmux and Vim is two programs you probably want to learn. The two most boring program, but if you are a command line junkie and you love the terminal and all that, those are the two programs I would say you probably want to learn. Like I said, it's boring as fuck. I hated learning, especially Vim. It's not one of those programs that you just love to fucking learn, right? Tmux, it's kind of okay, but still, it's not something that you love to learn. Anyways, next thing, what was that? What we got here? Oh yeah, when I use Ranger, I usually like to have the watch command with Task Builder open. Task Builder is actually a very underrated program, but if you know what it is and you know how to use it really well, and you incorporate it with your workflow, it actually doesn't boggle down your system, and it is very efficient. It does it. It queues up all your commands, and it does it in that order. So use it if you never used Task Builder before. Very underrated program. Like every time I seen one of those forum posts or those Reddit posts where they said like what is what's your favorite command line or hidden gems or something like that, I usually never see Task Builder on the fucking list, and it's a shame because it is a good program. So that's it for that. Next thing, these are my aliases. What we got here, and when I'm using aliases or adding functions or whatever to the bash shell or the ZSH shell, well, I'm using ZSH, folks. Forget bash. If you want to use a shell, use fucking ZSH. It's just more with the autocomplete and everything. That thing is just too cool. I would never go back to Bash now. Anyways, so that's it. I'm using Z shell, and these are aliases and function for it. And I'm using Vim folding, right? So that's why it's pretty quick if I do this. A little bit more organized, right? And the thing what I do for the configurations is that every time I have a program that has a configuration that I edit a lot, I'll just do like these CFG and then the program name or whatever. Makes it a little bit more efficient, because look at this, man. You have fucking configurations like everywhere. Here's in the home folder. Sometimes it's in the root folder. What else is there? Sometimes it's in the config folder. Right? It's everywhere, and I don't remember where the fuck is all at. So that's why I do these what is that, functions. And all I gotta do is just type in the first 3 letters or something, and I can just expand this and then you know, look for what the hell I was looking for. So for example, what do we got here? I think we have some on the bottom here. Like for example, if I open FlexGet, yay, and then I can add another TV show to the list that'll automatically download for me, and so on and so forth. So I recommend doing that if you don't remember, you know, where your configurations is at and everything. So that's it for that. Anything else in here? Oh yeah, another underrated program is Fazd. This program, which I made a video on a long time ago, is a way to jump around real quick. So let me give you an example. If I want to jump to my downloads folder, boop, look at that. Jump to my picture folder real quick, right? So basically it remembers wherever you went to a lot, and then you can actually jump around typing just a few letters, like fuzzy finding kind of style. Anyways, another underrated program that I like, that I use often. Anything else in here? There's too much shit in here that, you know, I can make like a whole fucking video about, but if you want to get this, it should be in my GitHub page, so don't ask me for it. It's already up online. So that's it for that. Next one, this one is CMUS, my music player, and CMUS I think was like my first Ncurse application that I started using. The main reason why I started using this, because I was using Rhythmbox at the time for music, and excuse me, and what was that? Oh yeah, it was just too slow. Like I had like 7,000 tracks here, and if I tried to load that into Rhythmbox, it would slow down, or it'll lag, or sometimes it will just crash. And I really hated that, so I started looking for something that's much lighter, and it would just load some stuff. And this was the program that a lot of people were saying to use. And I like this one even better than I don't know. Every time I see like a post, people will rave about MPD and all that shit, but I think MPD ain't fucking that good, right? CMUS is the one that you want to use. I mean, MPD is a daemon, and it does have like more things you can do with it. Like you can customize it and everything, way more than you can do with CMUS. But I don't know, man. From my experience, I just like CMUS better out of those two. And maybe I was a little biased because this was my first music program from the command line. It's hard to change, like, you know, your first program that you use. So you want to get the best one at the first time around. So that's that. Obviously, you want to use HTOP to view your stats on your computer, I guess. And, you know, you can kill process from here and all that. Pretty much it for command line stuff. And the terminal I'm using is Quake because you know, I get here the about page here. This is Quake. Let me put this down. Right, and drop down terminal so you can pop it out, pop it in real quick. That's pretty much it for the command line programs. And let's get on to the web UI program. So this one is using Ubiquity. So I can read comics from here that I host as like a server. I mainly don't read on this web browser. I read it on my my Android phone. And these ones are CBR and CBZs. Right, you click on it and you can actually read it. Some people like to download to their phone. I personally don't like to do that. I just personally just like to read it, and I'll just stream it to my phone, and then I can read it. Right, so that's how I do this thing. For that, another thing I have is oh yeah, this program that I'm using here. What is it? The one I'm doing this from is FZF Fuzzy Finder, and basically it well, you can actually watch my playlist on that if you want. Just type in Fuzzy Finder and you see what I'm talking about. But anyways, I made this thing called Web UI Listings, and I just remember it's port 5000 here. And basically, since you can't make an alias out of your router and a certain port, like if I wanted to call it comics, right, like local comics or something like that, you can't do that with the port. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining that right, but let's say if you have an IP with a port, and you want to assign to a common alias name, you can't do that. So I don't remember all the fucking ports in my computer here that I have set up for different services. So I made just one page here, and this one is hosted by the what was that, Python simple HTTP server. If you have like an HTML in there, they'll actually host that HTML. So this is what I'm using here, and then like if I'm on my phone or something like that and I don't remember the port, I just need to remember one port, and this one is 5000. And you can see that I have all my other stuff in here, like what was that here, the Caliber comic. So if I want to check out what I've recently added to my Caliber content server, this will show up here. I click on all books, and basically these are the comics I added. All right. Down here, the cups is my printer, but this one is NZB, which I showed you last time. Basically, if I ever needed to use Usenet, then I'll use this. This is like my client. I mean, they do have a GUI, and I think like not really a command line, but I use this one, just the web UI. I don't really use it that much because I'm not really into Usenet. Plus, it costs money. Actually, I never pay for it, but it does cost money though, or like a membership account, I would say. And I'll use this one if I can't find anything on torrents. Then this is my last resort to get on here. So that's it for that. Anything else? Oh yeah, PyLoad, which is a program I've used for like 1 or 2 years now, and I have never made a video for it. Every time I'll make a video for this, I always like get literally lazy. Just like what I did with the MUT videos or the i3 or what else did I did? Oh yeah, the YouTube DL. I mean, I've used it for a long time, but I never make videos for it. But this one is mainly for downloading CyberLocker links like RapidShare and all that. Actually, RapidShare is dead already, so like other they actually support a long list. I don't remember all of them, but basically hosting file sites you can actually download from here. Anything else in here? Well, the ubiquity I just talked about is just that you can read comics, right? From here. The difference between the Caliber one and the Ubiquity one is that Caliber, yeah, they have your listings, but you can't read it in a CBR format or EPUBs or whatever you want to use. You actually have to download to your fucking phone or whatever you're at, right? And I don't want to do that. So that's why Ubiquity, you can actually, read it from here instead of downloading it. And that's what I like about it. So anyways, that's it for that. Anything else in here? Oh yeah, transmission. We did have one from the command line, but this one is the web UI if I ever need to use it. And there you go. This is the web UI you can actually add and stuff in that. Not that hard. This is Webmin. I actually don't use this that much, but I did set it up. And basically it's a web front end to manage your computer, like trying to be a sysadmin and all that shit. But this one, I don't know, man. I rather configure it from the command line than doing all this clicking bullshit. I actually get more confused just by clicking around these fucking things. But if you're like one of those users that you don't want to use the command line, you can actually use this, and you can do system updates, reboots, and everything straight from this interface, right? So that's it for that. But like I said, I don't really use it. Maybe I'll make a more. No, I don't think I'll make a video on it. This is the only video you'll probably see on it, right? Because I'm not really into that. Anyways, that's it for that. Another one is Sync Thing. I used to use BitTorrent Sync, but now I'm using Sync Thing because it is open source. It's alright. It's not like the best. The setup, it takes more work than the BitTorrent Sync, and it still does the same thing. I usually sync this with my Samsung Note 2, and just synced up was that music, my camera picture, and the downloads. Pretty much it. Like I'm too lazy to transfer normally with the camera pictures, and I'll just fire up the app in there. It'll sync it, and that's it. That's what I'll do automatically and everything. So that's Sync Thing, just syncing up your devices or other computers if you want. Anything else in here? That's pretty much it, really. And all these other ones are just for information that I need to remember different ports that I already use. I even have these port rules. I usually use around this range because that's what they said is the best to use. Anywho, that's it for that portion, the web UI stuff. Now let's get on to the GUI stuff here. Alright, so obviously I'm using Kodi if I need to watch movies and TV shows, and that's all I use in here. I don't use this for music or anything, just movies and TV shows, right? And I talked about in Genesis. I have Al Jazeera here, mainly for news. Not really. I put it as background noise if I need to have something to listen to. And I think they stream this live, so on and so forth. But yeah, just movies and TV shows, whether it's streaming or local, it's all in here. All right, that's it for that. I do have Steam here. I can't play all the games on here because my graphic card sucks, but the games I do play are very light and so on and so forth. So that's it for Steam. And over here, this is the picture earlier. Oh yeah, another thing is I started using Emulator Station, and this is cool with my Xbox 360 wireless controller. Right, I have I think probably 80% of this set up, but I have it for what was it, the Virtual Boy, all these games here, and all the old stuff I got complete ROM set for it. Which you can get online, not that hard, just Google search away. But basically, these are all the ones I have set up right now. Not everything is configured like I said, but there's actually way more systems than this that I have in here. You think this is a lot, but I've looked on the fucking list and there's way more stuff that you can do. But they don't actually have like emulators for them, so I don't have it on this list here. But you can see I was playing some PSP games in here. Obviously, I can't show you the games because this was a screencast would fucking fail. But I was playing UFC Undisputed and some of these other PSP games. Really smooth. I mean, some glitches there, but you know, very playable, I'll say. And obviously, any of those retro games, like MAME and the Sega CD and everything, works fine. And in the back end, it uses RetroArch. RetroArch is something I just learned like a week ago. It's fucking amazing. I should make another video on that, especially if you're a retro type of gamer and you want to do this setup. Anyways, that's it for that. Quit, yes. So anything else in there? And I think that's pretty much it for all my setup. And how long is this fucking video? This one's 30 minutes, so I think we'll end it here. If you have any questions of my whatever I'm missing, usually just watch my fucking playlist on the command line or text user interface or something like that if you want to know more. But those are generally the stuff that I use. Oh yeah, another thing is I almost forgot. All right, but if I'm using on a daily basis, I usually use Feedly to check my RSS here. And if we want to look at Linux stuff, this is Linux stuff. And I mainly just read the title, and if it interests me, I'll click on it. Like here we go, using DD to back up a drive, which I already know, but you know, if it interests me, then I'll click on it. And this one's like command line stuff. I can read it or not. These one are the newest packages that either to have a version upgrade or something is new. And what is this one here? Let's say for example I pick out, you know, this Python thing here. Oh, here's the description. Doesn't sound good to me. Fuck that. Here's some new Arch Linux stuff. You know, if I want to install it and check it out, then there you go. But anyways, this is how I check out new packages and stuff like that. Like this one, it says, okay, caliber blah 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 has been updated, and I'll try to check out what is the new features, if there is or isn't anything. Anything else? So pretty much here, this is just you know, how I read my Linux feeds, and hopefully find some, you know, new apps to talk about, because that's what my channel is about, is apps. And that's what I like to focus on, just the apps, instead of like what's that, the desktop environment. To me, the desktop environment, I don't really give a fuck about. It's boring now. I mean, back when GNOME 2 exists, that was exciting, but nowadays I don't really care about the Unity, the GNOME 3, Cinnamon, and any of these other fucking desktop environment. I just basically use the command line. This one's is efficient, and for the most part it doesn't change, and it's very consistent, and that's what I like about it. So I can use any desktop environment, no problems. It's just that I like the apps more than the fucking desktop environment. You know, what they have in the new desktop environment, really. The last feature that I actually was excited about was the growl menu, or what was it, the growl notification that they have on Ubuntu, and that was like 2000, I think 10 or something like that. That's it. You know, all these new features, what they do, they actually make it worse. So I'm not really excited about it. And so as far as my current desktop environment, I'm using the XFCE here, and that's fine with me. I mainly don't care about the desktop environment. If I wasn't doing these screencasts, I'd probably use like i3 tiling Windows Manager or something like that. But you know, since I'm doing screencasts, I don't like it to tile and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it. I use for GUI. I use what was that? Well, Calibre, of course, Chromium as my web browser, and I use GIMP sometimes, of course. Emulation Station, like I just mentioned. Yeah, that's and Kodi. That's it, really. And also, if you need a password manager, use KeepPassX. I don't know. People always want to like sign up for a online password manager, but I think that's fucking stupid. Like, why would you want all your passwords to be on one website? Makes no sense to me. And plus, if they get hacked, guess what? They don't do nothing about it, right? They say, "Oops, change your fucking password," and you don't waste all your time doing all that shit. And hopefully, you don't put anything that is important online. But yeah, there's nothing. Let's say if they get hacked, guess what? Oops, that's all they're gonna give you, man. They don't give you shit. So it makes no sense for me to put my password online. Anyways, I use KeepPass. Actually, I use KeepPass C from the command line. But if I need to use one from the GUI, that's the one I use. KeepPass X. So I think that's pretty much it, really, right? Oh yeah, the last thing is for extensions. This is what I got in my Chromium here. So I'm using torrents to transmission, Google Voice, because I do have a Google Voice set up here for getting free calls and everything. Actually, I have a device that comes out to my regular phone, and I can actually make house calls from it. Maybe I should make another video on that where you can get free, a voice over IP out to an actual, regular telephone and make calls from it and receive calls from it. So that's that. If you want me to do a video on that, let me know. The next one is RSS here for subscribing to RSS. This one is a ad blocker and Vimium if you want to use it your web browser here to act like Vim, and you can actually use this without the mouse and everything, just using hotkeys. It works like probably 90% of the time. You don't need the mouse, but there you go. As far as this plugin, real simple, because I'm using the command line one, and usually you would have to add it the magnet link or the torrent link from the command line. But if you're using a web browser and you can set this up, all you gotta do is go to your torrent. Let's say we search for wallpapers, and if you want to add it, you can just right click on the torrent link or the magnet link. Right, this is the magnet link, and you go add to transmission, or I think this one supports other ones like what was the other torrent client, Deluge or something like that. So we added that, and you can bust this one out, and let's go to our transmission here, and you see these are the wallpapers we just added, right? But we're not gonna download it, we're just gonna delete it here. So that's it for that. Anyways, I don't remember everything else, but if you want to have more information, let me know on which one you want to talk about. But most of the stuff I talk about is already in my playlist, so you can watch those old videos. Anyways, long video, I think like 40 minutes now. We'll end it here.